guys, this is Rurouni K95 here. Once again, it's time for another Christmas special review for this holiday season as well. Because I'm going to do this in honor that Christmas Eve is tomorrow. And this is how I wanted to come across for this, as how I wanted to come by for that as well. As how I wanted to get in time for the holidays, because I'm excited for this as well, as we say about as well. So why am I going to bring this up? Today's Christmas special for today's holiday review on here, we're going to be covering a Christmas special on here for today, and that is Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, also known as The Simpsons Christmas Special, which is basically the series premiere of the television series The Simpsons when it was first aired on Fox as well. So this particularly how it became the first example of how The Simpsons came out in earlier in 1989 on December, as far as I know as well. Just in case you have or come across particularly as what I understand why as well. So let's start off with in this review here, because this is Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire. We get to the plot on this, how it tells about how the Simpsons family are on their way to go see the Springfield Elementary School Christmas pageant show on there, particularly of how it explains about such as the singing choir and this, they're basically how they wanted to do this as every Christmas, that's how it goes. Including Santa Claus of the Seas on the holiday pageant as well. When the Simpsons came back home from this holiday pageant, when they want to get prepared for the holidays, especially for this holiday season, particularly of how this explains to how it's come across, particularly Lisa wanted a pony for Christmas a lot, but Bart Simpson, on the other hand, he wanted a tattoo for Christmas, of how he wanted to be cool or something when he wanted a tattoo. But his mother, Marge Simpson, will not allow Bart to get a tattoo, which is considered it as a no-no as well. Like, you're supposed to be 18 years or older to get a tattoo as well. But the next day, Bart Simpson decided to go to a tattoo parlor, and he decided to get a tattoo anyway. But this wasn't long until he got busted by his mother, Marge. So they wanted, because he spent it on the Christmas money on this, and she had no choice but to spend all the extra money for extra Christmas gifts on getting the tattoo removal, just to remove the tattoo out of Bart Simpson's arm. So this particularly of how explains why they end up having no money and no cash for extra Christmas gifts they have ever wanted, which is almost a bad holiday they almost had as well, particularly because the money they have from their savings for Christmas gifts and the extra money for the extra gifts, they were all gone. All because Bart Simpson wanted a tattoo, but they wanted to end up getting because the extra money for the extra gifts were all gone because they wanted to get the tattoo removal as well. By this time at the power plant, and Homer Simpson's boss, Mr. Burns, who works at the Springfield power plant, wanted to cancel the Christmas bonus, which is in a horrible, mean-spirited kind of thing in this particularly, or how it seems. And then, which is almost for all this as well, just because of how he found out that Marge has been spending all the family's holiday money for tattoo removals. So Homer wanted to moonlighting of how he wanted to work as a mall Santa with the help of Barney Gumble, which is who he met Homer at Moe's Tavern particularly. So Homer has got the chance of how he wanted to work as a mall Santa, particularly, just to, in order to get paid for the holidays, so they can get money for the gifts for the holidays, especially for the on every Christmas as well. By this time, of course, meanwhile at the Springfield Mall on Christmas Eve, Bart Simpson's friend Milhouse Van Houten suggested Bart Simpson to yank the mall Santa beard off as well, particularly of how exposing Homer's secret, just because Homer works as a mall Santa as well. So he had to escort him to corner him into the of how the misunderstanding. So he apologizing. So Bart Simpson had no choice, but he had to apologize to Homer for the prank, and he praising it, especially for the family's Christmas gifts. So Homer's mall Santa gig has got paid more than less, especially when he got paid only about $13, which is not enough money for the Christmas gifts. Almost mean-spirited than considered how it happened. Other than Mr. Burns canceling Christmas bonus Homer wanted, things don't look to be cheerful of how this happened when he got paid only $13 on his paycheck for working as a mall Santa on Christmas Eve. So with the help of Homer's friend Barney, they decided to go to a greyhound dog racing trip with a little suggestion as well. So they wanted to bet the money for the last minute entry for the dog Santa's Little Helper, who is the greyhound who almost finished at last. When they leave the racing track, the dog racing track for the night as well, the dog's owner has abandoned the dog for the losing the race. So Bart Simpson has got a dog for the first time, because they always wanted a dog for the family, just to make it as a perfect Christmas gift for them as well. As how this goes, and when they got home, Homer, as well as his son Bart Simpson, introduced the family that they got a dog instead of getting the bonus for the Christmas gifts, because it was the first time for them to own a dog who they had decided to have as the best Christmas gift they have ever wanted as well. Particularly of how, which is becoming a holiday miracle. And that's how you end the story plot, with the family singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So that's basically for the plot on there as well. And from what I think of it, this was basically the first episode on the first season of the Simpsons series as well. Accordingly, of how I wanted to come across, particularly, that I didn't know that this was actually the first episode of The Simpsons, because it started as a series in the late 80s as well, especially in 1989. Accordingly to the fact of this as well. And yes, this episode was directed by David Silverman, who later worked on the other two most significantly specific episodes of The Simpsons, such as Krusty Gets Cancelled and Homie the Clown, those are the only two episodes that David Silverman only directed the other two episodes of The Simpsons than he did with this Christmas episode, Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, or the holiday special one. And yes, this was a holiday tradition to remember, as from what I understand why. I mean, the story was very suburb, though. I mean, there are some moments, particularly, despite that Homer Simpson never got the Christmas bonus, he basically wanted to have the choice of how he wanted to get the Christmas tree, especially just in time for the holidays in that one as well. I mean, this has gotten to be the whole thing for this as well. Yeah, I have never known about this particularly. And when I first come for that, the story was pretty good so far. I mean, the characters on there, we got a whole slew of characters that had to be added on there as well. I mean, the animation, it was basically well done by the series creator Matt Groening, who recently later worked on his other series, such as Futurama as well. But, however, The Simpsons has got the more attention the most, despite that this has been a longest running series that has ever been aired on Fox as well. However, for the Christmas special, like this one as well, this has basically how it comes to have a thing for that as well. I have been realized as well. But I haven't reviewed the Simpsons movie, to be honest with you, but I thought this Christmas special is all new for me, though, particularly. And I think this is the Christmas episode of The Simpsons that I had to review, unlike most other Christmas episodes out there, particularly. And yes, this was written by Mimi Pond, who on this particular one, which I have never known about this. Despite that, this was how it's gotten to the point of how this come across as well. And it seems to particularly how David Silverman directed other episodes of The Simpsons, such as the 138th episode one, as well as the House of Horror episode ones as well, including every one of them in general that he basically has worked on, of every episode that he has directed ever since before, as how this goes. And this was the only Christmas episode to be aired during the 80s, of how this has gotten to, particularly of how It's more different than any other ones out there. Yeah, this was aired in 1989, particularly around at the same time as the Raccoons cartoon was still airing on CBC in Canada, due to the fact that this was the first Christmas episode of The Simpsons aired during the 80s, until the later episodes later on aired in the 90s, particularly of how it's the great example of late 80s and early 90s period, especially for The Simpsons as well. Yeah, because despite that, The Simpsons were originally appeared as the shorts on the Tracy Ullman Show. Matt Groening has basically had the idea of how he wanted to create the Simpsons series, of how this particularly goes, is how it went as well. Didn't you know that the episode they were originally supposed to have, like, Some Enchanted Evening to appear as the first episode of the Simpsons, but instead they wanted to change it up a bit to, I believe, the Christmas holiday special of the Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, as the first episode instead, in order of how the Simpsons has been in the game since '89 as well. Before Futurama and Family Guy were still a thing at the set as well. And this has come into that. And also, we have basically got the introduction of this as well. I mean, what can I say? It's your typical 80s Christmas episode of how it started The Simpsons, as how it became the series premiere on Fox as well. And for some reason about this one as well, accordingly, of how I wanted to come by for this as well. And yeah, for the characters, however, yeah, we had beside the Simpsons family on this Christmas special, then you got the introduction of the Flanders in that one particularly, that I forgot to mention, if I'm not mistaken, as well, accordingly. For overall, if you ever watch this particular holiday special, like Simpsons Holiday Special, or Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, I think it's available if you have it on DVD, like, especially if you want to binge watch this holiday special, especially around the holidays, especially of how this wanted to come by on this one. And then again, just to consider, the Tracy Ullman Show had these Simpsons shorts, which they're a lot more different before the Simpsons started out with the Christmas episode. Because I think this all came in surprises. That's the thing of how I wanted to come by for that as well. And on top of this, my score for this episode, I'm just going to give it a 9 out of 10. Because I think it's pretty good holiday special. I mean, I never knew that this was the premiere of the longest running series on Fox, what The Simpsons had started. I don't understand this series has been kept being on the air as well. I mean, no wonder why this show never ended on Fox with the series finale or something, whatever, or something. I mean, this show just keeps going on and on. But however, the older episodes on this particular series is the perfect way to watch as how this goes as well. And yeah, I always wanted to explain for this one. And this was also available in the Christmas DVD compilation of The Simpsons. Christmas with The Simpsons on DVD there as well. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing, though. It's gotten to the thing of how I wanted to come by for this one, hasn't it? And for my opinion about this, well, unlike most traditional Christmas specials out there in general, this is the perfect way of how it became the series premiere of The Simpsons, of how it became the longest running series on Fox. Whenever this was originally premiered on December 17th, 1989 on Fox. That's the thing, though. Just because Disney now owns Fox, that's why. Just for how I wanted to come across particularly of how I wanted to cover something like this for this particular holiday special like this. In general, though. Now, if this was every one of them as well, which I always wanted to cover up as well, from what I understand why. Now, this particularly of how what I wanted to come by of how you would expect for a thing like this. As how it's a lot more different than any other Christmas specials out there. Now, if this was Family Guy's Christmas episode, Road to the North Pole, then I would have been compelled to be on the internet Christmas episode reviewing Critic Law, by to say to have it on full blast if you ever want to see a Christmas episode to start with, especially for this particular one. But it's the Simpsons Holiday Special, which is a heartwarming special of how this became the primary example of the series premiere of this longest running series that always been airing on Fox, especially The Simpsons on there as well. Of how you expect for this, particularly of how I wanted to come by on this as well. Maybe this could be of all those things of how I wanted to come by for this one as well. As if only if this was like the other ones out there as well. Well, it's not the first other Christmas episodes from any other shows of its kind as well. But I think this makes the biggest thing about the Simpsons Holiday Special is that this one has got the attention for the fans of the show the most when it was originally aired during the 80s. However, it was released on DVD with the other Christmas episodes produced on this DVD release on DVD as well. However, it was also available in the Season 1 DVD set, which includes the audio commentary on this one as well. Of how I wanted to come by for this particular holiday episode to review like this as well. So that's going to be it for my review on Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, the Simpsons Holiday Special review video for today, you guys. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's what I'm going to say for this one. Well, this is the first time I have never done a review on the Simpsons Christmas episode before, because it's got to be something to do on, because we were long overdue for this particular review like this before. Because why not? Because I wanted to change things up a bit as well. Not like the other previous ones that I did in the past, because I'm going to give another week off on these as well. But I got other ones that I'm going to review tomorrow on Christmas Eve. That's why. The biggest one of all I can review for tomorrow. That's why. Hope subscribe for content. Anime, Patreon links will be in the description down below. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Let me know your thoughts as well. And also be sure to smack the like button if you enjoyed the video. Be sure to click on the subscribe button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, RuRoniK95. Feel free to join my channel, especially if you're new to my channel as a newcomer. Especially if you're watching the channel, though. Because I'm starting getting into the movie reviews as well. And also, smack the notifications bell button. Be sure to get notified also as well for more latest updates as well. Because, just to keep you updated as well. And this is how I wanted to come by for this one as well. Well, I have been reviewing Christmas specials in the past before, but this is the first time I wanted to do a review on the Simpsons Holiday Special one, which is, you guessed it, Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, or basically the first episode of The Simpsons, how it premiered during the 80s as well. But this wasn't long until the 90s came for the later episodes of this particular series, that's why. This is RuRoniK95 saying thank you for watching my video, and I'm glad you liked it. Hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you soon for the next video. Hope you have a great day, because tomorrow is Christmas Eve. This is RuRoniK95 signing off, and thank you for watching my video, and I will see you soon for more videos. Take care. Bye.